The title of my sermonette today is Wisdom from Bahaullah. Bahaullah, born 1817, died 1892, was the founder of the Baha'i Faith, a religion which today has some 6 million members in over 190 countries. Bahaullah, which means glory of God, was born in Persia, modern-day Iran. In 1863, at the age of 49, he declared himself to be a messenger of God, the latest in a line of manifestations that include Muhammad, Jesus, and Buddha. Now, Bahaullah taught so many wonderful things, and I would love to be able to share all of them with you today, but time does not permit me to do so. Therefore, I have selected a few of my favorite teachings of Bahaullah to share with you today. The first teaching of Bahaullah that I want to share is this. O son of being, love me that I may love thee. If thou lovest me not, my love can in no ways reach thee. Know this, O servant. Now, at first glance, it may seem that he is saying that we must love God for God to love us back, that God's love is conditional. However, what Bahaullah is in fact teaching us is that we need to take the steps to align ourselves in the correct way to live, to be able to fully appreciate and benefit from God or the divine, the blessings and His love. It is not that we must do something for God to love us. God is always showering love upon all of us, all living creatures. However, we do so often shut ourselves off from God by our actions and thoughts. Loving the divine entails leading a clean, moral lifestyle and looking to the example of Jesus, Buddha, and Krishna, among other prophets, on how we should live. When he says, love me that I may love thee, it is not that God doesn't already love us, regardless of our feelings towards Him. Rather, once we love the divine and correct our ways, then the divine's love will become evident in our lives. Thus, we can clearly see that God has always loved us. And when Bahaullah goes on to say, if thou lovest me not, my love can in no wise reach thee, he is saying that if we do not love God, if we choose to rebel against the divine by our lifestyle choices, our thoughts, actions, then God's love will still be there for us. But we'll have a deluded mind, and therefore will not be able to see the love. It cannot reach us because of the barriers we have set up. This beautiful quote is similar to my favorite passage in the Christian Scriptures, James 4:8, which reads, draw close to God, and God will draw close to you. And this is what Bahaullah is saying, I believe, in this teaching. We need to draw close to God. You can call it Allah, Jehovah, Buddha. Regardless of the title, we need to take the steps to draw close to the divine. Now, this can be done through study of the various scriptures, through prayer, and through practicing loving kindness. Now, the second teaching I wish to cover today is the following. Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal ye with one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. You know, everything in this world is interconnected in one way or another, great or small. We are connected with people all across the globe. Now, just to use a really small and very simple example, what about the clothes we wear? Many of the clothes that we own were made in other countries, and in this small way we are connected to those people. Now, in the last few decades, with all the new technologies, the world has grown much smaller. Yet today, it can be hard to see how we here in the United States, listening to my sermon, could have anything in common with, say, a family in Afghanistan, a doctor in Brazil, or a teacher in Korea. Yet all human beings have the same basic needs. We all get sad when a loved one passes away, or we cry when we are injured. We are all filled with emotion when we see an inspiring sight. Despite all the differences in language, religion, and culture, the human heart, emotion, is generally the same. All human beings have the same basic needs and desires. Just as the leaves on a tree may be far apart from each other, the leaves on the top are far apart from the leaves on the bottom, but they are still connected at the same root. They are still all part of the same tree. And the same is true of us today. Color, gender, language, creed, so many differences, yet all of us are united at the root. God, the divine, whatever you wish to call it. That is the root for all of us. Now, Abdu'l-Baha, the son of Bahaullah, said, "Prejudice, whether it be religious, racial, patriotic, or political in its origin and aspect, is the destroyer of human foundations and opposed to the commands of God." Now we can see a bit of the golden rule when Bahaullah says, "Deal ye with one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship." Do you remember what Jesus of Nazareth said when he was questioned as to what was the greatest commandment? He said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." This is what Bahaullah is saying to us, that the love of God is interconnected with the love of our fellow man and womankind. Indeed, in what may be Baha'u'llah's most widely recognized quote, he informs us that the earth is but one country and mankind its citizens. Now, the third and final teaching I wish to share today is this. The purpose of religion, as revealed from the heaven of God's holy will, is to establish unity and concord amongst the peoples of the world. Make it not the cause of dissension and strife. The religion of God and His divine law are the most potent instruments and the surest of all means for the dawning of light, of unity amongst men. You know, yesterday was September 11th, anniversary of the attacks on the United States by Islamic fundamentalists. And of course, all of us here know about the controversy surrounding the plans to build an Islamic center 2 blocks from the site of Ground Zero. Also going on in this country, there's a debate about marriage, with religious liberals claiming that homosexuals should have the same rights to marriage as the traditional couple, and the religious right responding by saying that homosexuality is unnatural and that marriage is only between a man and a woman. And there are many other examples, but it seems that there is a lot of disunity going on here. It's no wonder then that many people point and say, look at this. How can religion be a vehicle to unite humankind and bring peace? If anything, it seems religion is dividing humankind and causing the opposite of peace. Yet when Bahaullah wrote this, he was stating the potential that religions have to bring about world peace. Swiss theologian and Catholic priest Dr. Hans Kuhn had this to say about peace and religion. Quote, "There will be no peace among the nations without peace among the religions. There will be no peace among the religions without dialogue among the religions." There are many similarities amongst the religions of the world, just as there are numerous differences. Yet, generally speaking, most religions teach peace, unity, and love. It is the goal of many religions to bring about these ideas, to turn them into realities. Although fundamentalists in all religions distort God's divine laws, religion is indeed the surest of all means for the dawning of light, of unity amongst men, as Bahaullah correctly states. The correct and highest purpose of any religion is to reveal truths that bring light to the world. We can have our differences. There's nothing wrong with differences, nothing at all. But the work of peace and unity should prevail, and all people should work together for common goals. Where we agree, let's work together. And where we disagree, we can go our separate ways. Unfortunately today, I could only share but a few of the immense treasures of Bahaullah. However, if anyone has been helped in the slightest by what has been presented today, then I'm very pleased, and of course, my talk was very worthwhile. I thank you for your attendance, and I wish you all blessings.